Welcome back to gaelicfantv. Na Fianna are the All-Ireland Club Hurling champions. They have beaten Sarsfield's boy scoreline of 223 to 20 points. A massive moment for Na Fianna, a massive moment for Dublin Hurling, and an incredible game, an incredible performance, an incredible story in more ways than one for this Na Fianna team. You know, to think of 3-4 years ago, they hadn't even won a senior Dublin Hurling title. They'd never won one in their history. You think of those defeats, the Kilmacud Crokes, the late heartbreak, the drama, and everything else that went with it. They then get over the line in Dublin. They obviously lose last year in the Leinster final, and now they come back to win the Leinster Championship, but also win the All-Ireland. Nothing short of what dreams are made of, really, for this Na Fianna team. And even though I'm not a Na Fianna club man necessarily, but, you know, a fair play to them. Absolutely delighted to see them get over the line. In terms of the game, look, it was very, very one-sided. Na Fianna absolutely dominated this game from start to finish. Like they breezed into a very early lead. Na Fianna scored a first point. Sarsfield's then replied with Aaron Myers from a free. But then Na Fianna took over, like from the second minute to the 15th minute. They scored, I think, 8 points on the bounce, and they led a 9-1 point lead after about 15 minutes. And you always felt like, even though it was early days in the game, and even though, you know, you're only 15 minutes in, an 8-point lead, like it felt irreversible in some ways for Sarsfields. It felt like they were really, really going to be up against it. And Na Fianna were just brilliant. They kept winning the puck outs. They kept winning the loose ball. Anytime any loose balls would drop, they would come out on top. The likes of Brian Ryan in midfield was absolutely outstanding. Sean Curry as well. Liam Rush in particular at number 6, I thought had an absolutely outstanding game, as did Paul O'Dea. And Na Fianna just kept on turning Sarsfields over time and time again. And like with Na Fianna, the energy was there, the sharpness was there, the intensity was there. That just wasn't there for Sarsfields, to be honest with you. And whether it was a case of Na Fianna, like, obviously a lot of these Na Fianna lads have played in Croke Park more. They're more familiar with the ground. They're, you know, obviously the game is played in Dublin and everything else. Whether that had a bit of a factor to do with it, I'm not entirely sure. But Sarsfields just looked really, really flat. And they never really ever got going. They had a bit of a spell towards the end of the game where they managed to narrow down what I think was a 15 to 16 point lead at one stage to Na Fianna to eventually get it down to a 9-point defeat. But even at that, like, Na Fianna were just so comfortable in the second half. And to be honest with you, I think they nearly took the foot off their gas and kind of just managed the game, really. Slowed it down when they could. And, a few players going down at different stages, probably just taking the sting out of any momentum maybe that Sars could build up. But yeah, very, very comfortable. They were on the front foot, on top. They were just sharper, quicker. Their forwards were absolutely outstanding as well. Like Andrew Jameson Murphy, AJ Murphy, like what a performance from him. 5 points, absolutely outstanding. Kieran Stacey as well was really, really good. Top performance from him. Tom Brennan, obviously, as well, getting both of the goals, 2-1 in total from him. Colin Curry getting 7 points as well. Outstanding performance from Na Fianna. And again, there was just a bit of a flatness about Sars. They looked a bit shocked. They look a bit shook by how well Na Fianna started. And they could just never really recover. And look, 12 points down at half-time in an All-Ireland final. Very, very hard to come back from that. And you factor in as well, obviously both of these sides haven't played, since before Christmas. So there was a big gap there, and there was probably a bit of a flatness about Sars that wasn't really there with Na Fianna. It looked like Na Fianna, were fresh. Maybe they had a challenge game in between, or maybe Sars were just a little bit burnt out. It was kind of hard to know, to be honest with you. In fairness to Aaron Myers, he was the standout player for Sars. He scored 10 points in total. Jack O'Connor was certainly trying. He was trying to make things happen. The shooting was a little bit off in the first half, but yeah, he finished with 5 points in total. And actually, just looking at it for Sarsfields, just 5 scores in total in this game. Just 3 of their forwards and then 2 of their midfielders scored as well. So that probably puts it into perspective just how dominant Na Fianna were in this game. And look, fair play to Na Fianna. As I said previously, they've had setbacks in the past. They've been building towards this, and it's an incredible achievement. I've backed them from quite early on to go all the way. As soon as I seen Ballygunner go out, I felt like that was the only team I looked at and thought, you know, just given their experience, having done it previously, you know, look, maybe I would have backed Na Fianna to beat Ballygunner going into that game if that was the final. I don't know, but I always fancied Na Fianna to win this game. I predicted a 5-point win, kind of going into this. I didn't expect it to be this comfortable, to be honest with you, but yeah, just an extraordinary performance from Na Fianna. Dominant from the first whistle. Defensively, absolutely brilliant as well. Like, it must be said, Conor McHugh, a fullback, was outstanding as well, I thought. Liam Rush, as we mentioned previously. Sean Burke, a cornerback as well. And just quicker, sharper, faster. And for SARS, look, I mean, for SARS overall, to have the year that they've had, coming through Munster, obviously beating Ballygunner and doing what they did there, was an extraordinary achievement. And I think overall there will be, you know, there will be some regrets with this final. We know that it's very, very hard to get back here. And I think for Na Fianna as well, looking at, you know, Na Fianna have never been here before, and they've never won this before up until now. So it's an incredible achievement, obviously, for them. But for SARS, it will be tough to come back from this. But I think overall they can look back at the year with happiness, in my opinion, given what they've done, that win versus Ballygunner, the run-up, obviously, to this final as well. But Na Fianna, just different class. And look, they did that throughout the year in Dublin, where they're outstanding. They had to dig deep a couple of times. They had to do it versus Loughrea in the semi-finals. But in this game, from the first minute to the last, really, it only ever looked like there were going to be two winners. They probably could have scored more goals as well. In fairness to the SARS goalkeeper, Ben Graham, he made a couple of saves. And to be fair to John O'Tracy as well, like, he made a couple of big saves as well for Na Fianna to stop any goals going in from SARS. So, yeah, extraordinary achievement for Na Fianna. Fair play, massive result for them. It finishes 223 to 20 points. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comments down below. In terms of man of the match, it's a tough one, really. I mean, Tom Brennan scoring 2 of the goals is obviously key. But for me, I thought AJ Murphy was just absolutely brilliant. 5 points in total. Absolutely outstanding. But you can't look past someone like Brian Ryan as well, who had an extraordinary performance. But let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comments down below. We will be live after Coola versus Errigal Kieran as well. That game is due to throw in at I think 20 to 2, I think, or 3:30 or something of that nature. But yeah, it's due to throw in soon enough, so we'll certainly be live after that game as well. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. We will be dropping a number of match reactions throughout the league, you know, the inter-county football leagues, hurling leagues, and everything else as well. And yeah, congratulations to Na Fianna. Massive achievement for them. Commiserations to Sarsfields, but no doubt, I'm sure they will be back. So until the next one, speak to you all soon.